Hello, this is 4004 Transformers, and I love Studio Series. I absolutely love Studio Series. I think it was the best thing ever done. Are all the figures the best? Absolutely not. Some of them really suck, which we'll even start today. But this is a Studio Series ranking. Today I'm only doing the first 10, but this was an idea I saw from, I think it was Transformers Hype Guy over on Twitter, like last summer, and I've had this idea of wanting to do a Studio Series ranking for like pretty much a year now, like literally a year. Why I hadn't before is I thought, well, I don't do much on this channel. It's already been like, what, a couple months since I did the last video on this channel, so it's like, I want to spread it out. And last year, there was quite a bit of news at the time. I was like, let's wait until some downtime when there's really nothing going on for this channel, so that way I have something to publish for it. Well, right now there hasn't been anything for a while. We might be getting 2026 Studio Series news here soon. But why look at the future when we could look at the past? So I'm going to be starting with ranking out the first 10 mainline Studio Series. We're never going to be touching 86. We're never going to be touching Gamer Edition. This is just the mainline. Now here's where I have a bit of a problem. Even just out of the first 10, I only have 3. I only have Ratchet and Starscream and a badly transformed Crowbar with its nice little hair sticking out the back. So, I'm really only able to give my own honest opinions on 3. Now, of course, I've researched the crap out of most of them. As we go down the line, I'll have more and more to be able to give better contributions about, having them firsthand. But even just out of this first 10, I gotta be honest, I only have 3. So this will be interesting. I have to go based on some things that other people have told me, that I've watched reviews online. But in the end, this is my opinion, so it really doesn't matter anyway. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think in the comments. Today we're doing the first 10. We'll do a series of this. Hopefully we'll get through them all someday. But no better way to start off than with number 1 himself. It's a Bumblebee, and Bumblebees. Studio Series loves Bumblebees, and actually this is where it gets really sad on my end. I only have 2 Studio Series Bumblebees. One's from, of course, the Bumblebee movie, and actually the Rise of the Beast one. Those are the only 2 Studio Series Bumblebees I have. And I really don't want any other Studio Series Bumblebees. I think the Rise one, Rise of the Beast, Studio Series Bumblebee is the best Bumblebee so far. And that makes it hard. Where do I put this first one? Where do I put this first yellow bugger? Now, I gotta give it some credit. Studio Series wouldn't have started if it wasn't for this guy right here. But in terms of Studio Series, it's not the worst. It's not the worst, I don't think. Like I say, I don't have it. I don't honestly know. I know Studio Series Bumblebees go downhill quite quickly. But I'm going to start it off putting it in B tier. B for Bumblebee. Like I said, it's not the best. I have so many that I'm looking forward to rank throughout the series. And I know there's some worse than him. So that's where I'm going to put the first one. Bumblebee. Because I saw pictures of his vehicle mode, looks clean, looks fine enough, good enough for who it's for. But this brings us on to maybe one of the more controversial picks. This is Stinger. Hold the phone, I lied. I do also have Stinger. One thing I was sad is his mirror fell off in vehicle mode. I went through a couple weeks ago and transformed all of my Transformers into vehicle mode. So that's why they're all in vehicle mode for this video. I haven't transformed them back yet, but okay, so I do have 4 of the first 10. My bad, I lied, you guys. So, Stinger is a very controversial pick. I'm actually going to go ahead and shove him up. I'm going to put Stinger in A tier, and I'm actually going to go ahead and revoke Bumblebee from B tier to C tier. So, here's why I'm rating this Studio Series Stinger so high. He is kind of a little bit of a pain to transform, right? He's not the funnest getting him back and forth, just the way he's engineered. It's not his fault. Well, it kind of is his fault. But this, without a doubt, is the best we've seen for a Stinger. That original Transformers, the Last Night Stinger was just the Last Night Bumblebee, but red. Same face, same everything. It was just, instead of being red, it was yellow. It was not unique or original at all. It didn't really look like Stinger. So, this Stinger is an upgrade of that old Stinger. And its robot mode lacks. Its robot mode lacks a lot. Having that entire arm arm be the top of the car is weird. And I'm not sure that was the best decision they could have ever done. That's why he's smack dab right in the middle at B tier. He's a darn sight improvement from that first one. In terms of an actual figure, he's not the greatest, but it's the best version of him we have. And I gotta give him some credit because I actually preferred this one over having just a red Bumblebee. For seeming Stinger is just a cheap knockoff. That original definitely was a cheap knockoff. So this is the best that we have. Crowbar. Crowbar's going in A tier. Okay, oh my gosh. And when bending down into my big storage of Transformers down there, I was trying to grab a Berserker to talk about Crowbar. I must have accidentally hit the stop recording button. I spent the entire last half an hour completely ranting about these last 8 figures down here below and hadn't been recording the whole time. So, let's do this again, but not make it take half an hour. We can do this. We can rank Transformers. So, time to say everything again the second time. Third time's a charm, you know. So, Crowbar. They took my favorite Transformer from last night, Berserker, and I love what they did with the dreads here in Studio Series. If I would have transformed this guy properly, they're pretty much identical vehicle modes, and they even same with that upcoming Ratchet this year. I love what they're doing with the dreads. However, Crowbar here has a little bit of a hairy problem. He's a little bit of a hairy situation. His dread hairs are just completely sticking out of the back of the vehicle mode. So, I like him. In fact, I think he's better than Stinger there. But that hair sticking out the back drags him down. I think the robot mode is fine. Like I said, love the original Berserker, but now he has hair. So, that's where I'm putting that's where I'm putting Crowbar, and kind of why. So, Ratchet is another one that I actually have. And actually, I really love this version. I know they did a repaint for Dark of the Moon, but personally, this is the Ratchet that I honestly prefer over the Dark of the Moon colors. Now, his robot mode is slightly flawed, where of course all Transformers have a backpack, but this whole top of the car, just the emergency part, dangles down behind his knees. It's like a long draped backpack, which makes it a little awkward in robot mode. So I can't give it a perfect S tier, but I am actually going to go ahead and put the first one in A tier. I like this Ratchet, and I like this coloring better than Dark of the Moon. Might I be the only one thinking that? Absolutely, but that's my opinion. Now, Optimus Prime. It's the first Optimus Prime into Studio Series. I definitely know that they get better as some of the future versions exist. Once again, I don't actually have this figure, so I'm putting it with the first Bumblebee. They're both fine. They both transform. Are they necessarily all that unique? No, we get a crap ton of Optimus Primes just like we do Bumblebees in the future. So, I'm not putting it that high. I don't know. Like I said, it's really hard to do some of these that I don't actually have, nor do I know too much about, especially when there's like a crap ton of Optimuses and Bumblebees down the future of Studio Series. So, I'm just going to put it next to Bumblebee. That's all I can say, because I can't say much. I don't know much. Starscream is going in S tier. I love this version. Once again, they did the exact same mold, just a repaint of it, with the tattooed versions up and down the back of Starscream. This is the plain version, and I, once again, kind of like that Ratchet. I actually prefer the plain version better. This has got to be one of the cleanest vehicle modes, I think, for Studio Series. And, actually, robot mode is too. You know, he has a couple gaps and stuff in his chest. But, he is a big metal robot made out of parts. It's probably more accurate than you think. Starscream is going in S tier. Because, once again, I prefer it actually more than that original tattooed version. Or the upcoming Studio Series tattooed version. It's weird. We're back in time. Crazy. So, this brings us to Grimlock. I don't have Grimlock. I kind of wanted Grimlock. It's one of those ones that was really good. And it makes me want the other Studio Series Dinobots. They said after they got done with the 86 Dinobots, they'd move on to Bayverse Dinobots. Where's our Dinobots, man? I want our other Dinobots. But Grimlock here, right off the bat, tried to accomplish a lot. His mace, or his hand, is a complete mace, which is accurate. It's accurate, but it's kind of awkward. And the Dinobot mode isn't the cleanest. It's one of those that I kind of hope they go through and do like a... I think this version was Age of Extinction. So I hope they go back and retool it and make it just that much more better with a Last Night version if they ever go back through and do the rest of the Dinobots. So with that, I don't know. It's really good. If I were just talking about robot mode, it'd be S tier. But Dinobot mode does actually kind of drag it down a little bit for me. I really have a hard time knowing where to put it. For now, I'm putting it behind Ratchet, which is actually, I think, a different place than when I recorded this the first time around. It changes every time. I tell you, everything right now is absolutely not set in stone because there is a lot of great ones coming up. So, the next one is Leader Blackout. And it was great. Big old dude. But I do know that Grindor is coming up in the future, which actually has movable hands. So I'm dropping this down to, I don't know, maybe even lower B tier. Or upper B tier. Blackout's great. I just know they make so many more improvements to him in the future when they release the Grindor. So that's I'm leaving room for that upper version to take the cake, to take the win. Oh, Thundercracker. Next up is Thundercracker, and I want to take a Thundercracker to his head. This is Nitro Zeus, one of my absolute favorite Transformers figures from the Last Night mainline. In fact, this Nitro is so good, I think if they were to do a Studio Series Nitro, they could literally take this exact Last Night version and just retool it. But that doesn't mean that they should take a character that we never saw in the movie and just take Nitro and paint him blue with a slightly different head. Thundercracker is a lazy attempt. He should not have been priority. This was before concept art really was a thing in Studio Series. And for seeming this is how they started out with the first 10 Studio Series, was a character we never saw in the movie, and especially a character that they did a lazy, just repaint, slight retool on. Thundercracker shouldn't have been done this dirty. He was a little rushed job that was sad. That's literally all I have to say about him. I'm sure he's fine, but he's a character we never saw and just a lazy retool. That's all I have to say about that. But Lockdown here is going to go right behind Starscream. Once again, this is one that I actually don't have. I don't have Lockdown, and I kind of wish I do. I think it's one of those that they should go back through and package refresh because I never, he's so old now that it's hard to find some of those. Much improvement over Age of Extinction. The head, the everything. I think he's clean. Look at that. He's so clean in robot mode. I think that's one of the better Studio Series. I am putting him behind Starscream. I don't know. They're pretty much tied, I think. But he's so much better. Sure, he doesn't have face gun and all that, but he's not an ugly color of brown. That face on Lockdown is amazing. So I'm shoving him clear at the top. And that is my ranking of the first 10 Studio Series. But wait, there's more. Yeah, we will continue this series in the future. I guess doing the next 10. We'll get to number 20 next time. Isn't that crazy? Like I said, I've been wanting to do this idea for literally a year, ever since TF Hype Guy on Twitter shared whatever this is, a tier list for Studio Series. And now I've seen some people doing them on YouTube, and right now we had some downtime between Transformers news coming out, and I was like, let's do it. Yes. Tier lists are fun. So with that, I hope you enjoyed. Tell me in the comments below, what do you think? Like I said, it's so hard since I only have, 4 of these 10. So I don't know. Did I do some injustice? I'm willing to hear debates and even change up my tier list based on what you say in the comments. You can change my mind. That'll be $20, please no. But yeah, I'm excited to see what other people might have to say in debate because I could literally talk about these all day. In fact, at this point now, I have spent an hour and a half on this video. Granted, second recording's a charm, and I probably went a lot faster this second time. Probably forgot some points that I made the first time around, but it's all part of the fun. All part of the fun. So, tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you next time, rather if it's more news, or if we finally get back to the tier list fun. See you next time.